Hi everyone, I'm Fly. Welcome back to Dream Designs, the third and final episode of the trees. This episode is the dark crimson evil looking tree. This tree came out amazing in the end and I'm very proud of it. And if you're wanting to see the two trees behind it, which is the yellow light magical tree and the earthly toned blue tree behind there, check out the episodes before this. This is the red tree. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started with choosing our blocks. So I already kind of set up a template for the leaf pattern here. This is the gradient from a darkish red to a very light red up to here. Again, I'm trying to make it as survival friendly as possible. So we got some black glazed terracotta, some red nether bricks, some nether wart block, some red concrete, red wool, and red glazed terracotta, which I don't think they're incredibly hard to get. Depending on which part of the game you're on, maybe late game, these are really easy to get. Oh yeah, and then I wanted a black stump for this tree. Kind of wanting to go for a pine tree style. So I don't really know what blocks to use here. Maybe a bunch of deep slate. So first I am going to literally just do a straight line up for now. It's not going to be a completely straight tree. I don't know how tall I want this tree. I'm gonna go off to the side of it, break a couple blocks, and making it bend, but it wouldn't bend right there. Actually, it would more of bend more at the bottom, and then go up again a couple of blocks, and then go right again, and up again a couple of blocks. And then, of course, we can take some black stone, as if it were stone buried into the earth. I'm just gonna create literally just a pile here. Not gonna worry about the shape much. Just a bunch of blob shapes here. And then we could take some slabs. Is there slabs of blackstone? I'm not sure if there. Oh, there is. Okay. We could take some slabs, do our rooting technique where it's dug into the dirt like we've done over there and over there. All we gotta do is make some squiggly lines. I love my squiggly line roots. Now I will end up texturizing this trunk soon. It's a bit bland and flat with just blackstone and deep slate, but I do want to get, as soon as I can, right into the leaves of the shape, because the leaves are going to be tough for this one because I'm not making branches. I'm just going to go straight into the leaves part of it, which this is going to be complicated for what I want to do. I want to make a pine tree, so we need a lot of leaves in a very thick width on the bottom and barely any leaves appear at all, and it's going to end with a couple of red glazed terracotta. And I know the glazed terracotta looks ugly right now. I will be switching it with some like black wool. Take out that pattern. We don't want to make it that flat. I guess we could also just do some black glass. Black glass would look equally good for it. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and now we just want to create a bunch of those leaves in a circle around the base of this. So we just kind of go in a random pattern, diagonally fly where we want to go, maybe go down a little bit. And then we can do that on all different sides of the trunk. Now I am leaving room between some of these gaps here. See that there's kind of a V shape of gaps between the piles of leaves. That is for the tree to breathe, and there's usually spaces between pine trees, so I'm trying to simulate that as best I can. Remember, I'm not a professional with this, guys. This is like my third tree, and I don't even know what I'm doing. Piling up these leaves more into the trunk. And then we can go and replace every few blocks with just some black stained glass to limit the amount of terracotta we see here, because this is looking like an eyesore. Okay, now that we got the bottom parts of the tree, we can now go ahead to our next region of the branches, which I'm just gonna create a little circle up here, and it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Something you want to vary in height for the randomness of it. Now I'm gonna try and do a technique where I go in the direction of this level of leaves and cover up the V shape over the previous layer of leaves, if that makes sense. Here, okay, so there's a gap here in this layer of the leaves, the glazed terracotta layer of the leaves, and now I'm just gonna be going in and filling up the gap over it with this layer of leaves. Now you see that if I go up, the gap is filled with the red nether bricks. I did go down too. I didn't go in a straight line. I am varying in height here. So if you see, again, I will just be covering up this gap right here over it with the red nether bricks. And I'm also not going to be going anywhere longer than these leaves, because as we go up, we want the leaves to be shorter. So we don't want any leaves to be longer than the glazed terracotta leaves down here. And then there's another gap here, but it's not too big, so I will make the leaves not as big over here. Remember to trust the process, guys. I know this doesn't look that good right now, but I will be texturizing the red nether bricks in a second with some glazed terracotta, and then I will also put some red nether bricks on the glazed terracotta layer, and then it'll start to blend in with each other and look a little seamless. And that is our second layer of leaves done. We do want to go in here and make sure you can see parts of the trunk, because you do kind of want to see it every once in a while, not too much. We do still want to see the trunk. Now I'm going to replace some of the bricks near the bottom with some of the glazed terracotta, which is red on the glazed terracotta is near the same red of the bricks. I'm going to make sure I'm going in different directions here to make sure that glazed terracotta isn't all in the same directions, because it looks a little weird if they're in the same directions. Okay, so far I am hating the roots down here. They look kind of bad, so I'm just gonna get rid of them for now, and we'll come back to them after the leaves are done, because I don't know, it's looking really weird for the leaves and the roots to be together and very close like that. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Okay, let's go up another layer. We're gonna skip like a couple blocks on the trunk and then keep on covering up the gaps of the last layer. So there's a gap right here if you see it, and we'll cover it up a little bit, but we can't go longer than the leaves previously because we do want them shorter. There's a gap right here, and we're gonna make sure to come down a little bit. I'm using some red concrete next because it's brighter than the red nether brick, and we want to go brighter the higher we go. Okay, this layer on the top needs to come up a little bit, and then it also needs to dig out some holes right here. We want to make sure that this tree has a lot of holes in it, or else it's not gonna look realistic. Well, it's not gonna look realistic at all. It's a magical red tree, but I meant it's not gonna look like really good in shape. So we want to make sure there's a couple holes in there in the branches. I'm gonna put some red nether brick now on the leaves down here. Okay, I'm gonna do another layer of the concrete. So we're gonna go a little smaller now with the branches. Just a couple of pieces here and there. Okay, and then we're gonna go with the oh, I've skipped the nether wart. Dang it, I forgot. No wonder it looks weird to me right now. Yeah, we're supposed to be doing the nether wart layer right now. With the red concrete down here. I was like, why does it looks a little weird. But it's because this red concrete is supposed to be nether wart blocks. Whoops. There we go. Now it looks a little better. Now we can, what can we do next? I guess we can go up here and do the wool. Now, I think this part is gonna have to extend a little further up because we're going a little too thick. We're definitely gonna have to build it a little thinner up. So the red wool is gonna go up a couple of layers on the trunk, and then we're just gonna make it very thin up here. Gotta go in gaps, and we also want it to come down just a little bit, but we also want to keep those gaps. And then I'm gonna mix some of the red concrete with it to texturize it. Okay, it's looking okay so far. We got it. We gotta keep on going as short as we can get it up here, though. What was next? Red wool, and then was it the terracotta? We have enough room to do another small layer of red wool, so I'm gonna do a couple. Make it as small as I can get it. Now I start off going in random directions here, and then I end up trimming the rest of it, such as this, and then I also build up the layer by the trunk, because it makes sense that it would pile up near the trunk. And then I just trim it a little bit, keeping that gap near the trunk. And we gotta go down a little bit. I think I'm gonna incorporate some red concrete powder because that is a little lighter. But I have to be careful where I put it because it's hard to place red concrete powder because it's concrete powder and the powder falls. So we have to be careful. Okay, and then the final layer should be some glazed terracotta up here. And we only have to put a couple of blocks right up there. And then the leaves should mostly be done. We'll put some wool right here because it looks like it needs some. And then some terracotta up here. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's so good. That's actually a really good red pine tree. Some glass panes for this might actually be really smart for more definition. Candles, red and black candles might be really good, and some black and red glass blocks. So let's start with black down here. Not too much. We're not gonna go too crazy. I'm just gonna put it over all of the leaves. I'm not gonna go under the leaves, because if we go under the leaves, it's not gonna look as good, and it's gonna make the leaves too thick. So we're just gonna place random blocks of glass over everything here, and then I'll place a block of glass over everything on the next layer too. It's fine if it's randomized. I'm not really too careful with this because it being chaotic might actually make it look decent. And then I'm gonna replace some of it with red glass too. Red glass is gonna, well, make it more red and more evil looking. And that's what we're trying to convey in this tree. We're trying to make it look interesting and kind of evil. And if the glass blocks look too thick for you, you could just end up putting some, glass panes. Because glass panes are a little thinner than full glass blocks, so they're easier to use. I'm going to use some black glass panes for up here, because I don't want too much black, but I do want some speckles of it to travel all the way up here. So I'm just going to put some red glass in the inside of these branches to make sure it stays clear and keeps the definition of those holes. But outside of it, I'm just going to put some thin glass panes around it to make it look more leafy, because the glass panes give off just like a thin level of more, I don't know, they look like leaves to me. I don't really know how to describe it. There's too much glass right here though, now that I'm looking at it. That glass can be gone. It really takes just a keen eye to look at it. You really don't have to do the glass if you don't want to, of course. You do you. Whatever feels right to you guys. And then up here, some glass panes. Right there. Wow, that's looking awesome. I do see some glass panes up there that I went too thick with. Here we go. And maybe a couple full blocks inside of here like this. Might be able to work. You could put some full blocks to where you did want to put a full block, like a solid block, but it didn't look too right, and a glass block will fill in that space, but also make it look like the space is empty. Glass blocks are so powerful, guys. I love glass blocks. They are insane for tree making. Let's put some candles over some of the red blocks. Red candles on the red blocks will work. Oh wow, I put glass on everything here. Here's some whatever you see as an empty block, you can put candles on, because candles can help with that definition. Yeah, candles help look like little leaves, little tiny details in the leaves help bring such a cohesive style to it. It's amazing. There are so many different things you can manage to put on a tree and make look good as if it was intentionally put there instead of just like a random block, like pickles on a green tree. What else? Like banners. Banners can look really good depending on the color. I just experiment and you will definitely find that you can add a lot of detail to tree no matter what the block is. I put bells on that tree because they were yellow. If you're going with a color theme, consider any colored block that you have that matches that color. It might work. It might work. You might have to experiment a little, but it will probably work. To make this tree truly magical, which honestly, candles, I haven't been able to light the candles. I don't think I put any candles on that one. I couldn't light the candles on this one because candles give a red oranges tint, and this is a blue tree, so I couldn't do that. But since this tree is a red tree, candles that are lit might actually look really good. And the key for my magical trees that I make is lighting and having glowing blocks. And if you can increase the amount of lighting and glowing blocks you have, it will make it so much more magical. Like if I light a couple of these candles, I'm not gonna light all of them, but if I light a couple of them, they're gonna all combine to look like mini little sparks on the tree and mini little fairies or something like that to just make it look magical. Okay, what other blocks? I think I had some redstone blocks that I might use. Of course, you don't have to use the redstone blocks. Redstone torches are amazing to be able to use. Oh yeah, we do have the weeping vines, which are really good. I can try and incorporate some redstone and some deep slate redstone. We can put that in the trunk and hide it in there because it is ooh, that looks good. It is a deep slate, so it'll match with the trunk, and if it hides in there, it gives it like a bunch of glow. Let's time set night this because we'll be able to see the glowing from it at a distance. Can I change that one and then put some layers over it. Yes. And then I think at the tippy top, I will put a full redstone block. Can I access that block? No, I'm gonna have to break a couple glass things here. A full redstone block to make it like glow at the very top of it. And it'll look very powerful if I do that. Yes, that looks awesome. Now I need to put a couple of redstone torches hidden inside the leaves because it kind of looks odd without the redstone torches now. Now I don't want to make them too noticeable. Like I don't want to put them on the outside like that because there is a wooden rod in them and there's not too much brown in this tree. I need to hide that brown a little bit. So I'm just gonna try and hide it like this. Wow, this tree looks so dark and ominous. Look at that. It looks so creepy, honestly. What else can we put here? I guess we could start putting some of the vines here on the bottom. Now I am gonna make these go on the very edges of the leaves because I think it would make sense if these were at the edges of the leaves. Oh yeah, that made it just a little better. I do need to shear some of them because some of them are getting a little too long, like this one. How do I? Yep. And they are looking awesome. This tree is probably, honestly, my favorite one. Like, I love that blue one, but now this one just looks so cool and dark and ominous. It's awesome. I wish the yellow one came out just as good as this one, but the yellow one, for some reason, gave me so much of a hassle. It was bad. Okay, now we can work on the bottom here. I do want to put what can we put? We can put some cracked deep slate here. We could put some bricks instead of just simple black stone. We could put some brick stairs. I don't know if I'm gonna put roots for this. The roots wouldn't end up looking as good, I think. Some polished black stone might end up looking good. Yeah, around the base of it inside so it looks more stabilized. Putting an entire environment underneath the tree too makes it look a lot alive. But this tree isn't necessarily alive. It clearly looks, well, it does look alive to an extent, I guess. But this tree is very, very dark and very ominous, and I love it so much. Okay, so I'm just going in random areas around here with the Nylium. This can be sort of the root areas, and I might put roots. I don't know, because when I was putting roots, it was making it look really weird to me. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna put roots yet. And I'm just gonna put some crimson roots everywhere too, and some carpets as well. Just going in random areas, putting whatever red things I can. I like to over detail things. This might be a little over detailing and some people might not like it, so you don't have to do this in your worlds at all. But I will be over detailing the heck out of my world. So some red flowers around it could be nice. Ooh, some mushrooms too. Anything works. Now I'm gonna put some redstone in the ground and put some glass under it too. Anything that makes the immersion of glowing and something magical, that could work. Redstone and carpet. The carpet will still have the redstone under it, glow. And some crimson mushrooms, of course, because they're red and this is like basically a crimson tree. And I think that pretty much sets it. Wow, that looks awesome. Let's look at this at nighttime. That is crazy. That is so cool for a tree. And this is what it looks like without. Ooh, I kind of like it without shaders. I almost do. I don't know. Shaders kind of mute the tones. I think it's just because my shaders are really bright during nighttime. Shaders, of course, like makes the crimson mushrooms light up and everything. But without shaders, it's not too bad either. And that's how you know it really does look pretty cool. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this series, guys. This has been an amazing 3-part episode. If you don't know what Dream Designs is, we both learn how to build, and we both just have fun chilling and building. So if you want to join me again, I don't know what we're gonna do next. Maybe put some suggestions down into the comments. I kind of want to do some building, like actual buildings, nothing organic. So please recommend something that's like constructive wise and not organic, because after this 3-part series, I don't want to make another tree again. But anyway, thank you for joining me for today. You guys are all amazing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.